As a professional artist, making art prints is a huge part of my business. I would say about 80% of my income comes directly from selling the art prints that I make. And so having a printer to make my fine art prints is so important. I love all of my current printers, but the thing is, a few months ago, I came into a situation where I had to buy a new one. And I was looking through everything that was available online, and man, it was confusing. There are so many different models of printers available, and all of them look pretty good at first glance. But then when you look into them deeper and figure out the kind of inks they use and the papers they use and just everything about them, like what the ink costs, how quickly they make prints, it makes it a really confusing decision. So in this video, I want to distill all of the information that I discovered over my research into a really easy, understandable method to pick the best printer for you for making art prints. First off, what are the most important qualities that you need to be looking for in a printer as an artist who's wanting a print that will last a long time? I'm talking archival prints here, prints that will not fade for our entire lifetimes, probably our children's lifetimes as well. This is important to me as an artist making fine art prints because I want my work to last. It's not just some poster that a person's buying at Walmart. This is artwork, and I'm selling it at a premium price. This means that pigment-based ink is an absolute must for any printer that I purchase because pigment-based ink will not fade. It is archival, whereas anything that has dye-based ink or any other types of inks, they're going to eventually start to fade. Next is the ink cost. Now, if the ink is exorbitantly expensive per print, that's not going to be profitable for me as an artist. So I'm always on the lookout for how much ink costs in a printer. Also, I want to know that it can take a wide variety of paper sizes, even custom paper sizes. I also want to be able to print large, at least up to 16 by 20. And don't forget, printing speed is also really important because if it prints really slowly, this is going to be a horrible thing for my workflow because I print sometimes 100 or 200 prints a day, especially during the peak seasons of art fairs. And so I need a printer that can handle running that many prints through it. They can take stacks of paper, and then I also need to have something that's durable because if I'm running that many prints through it, this thing needs to be able to take a beating. It needs to be able to perform, produce at a high level. Last, and I think also equally important to everything, is the cost of the actual printer because man, there are some printers that are super expensive, like $5,000, and I'm sorry, but I am an independent artist here, right? I don't have $5,000 to just waste on a printer. Now, $1,000 is more reasonable, maybe even $2,000, but $5,000? No, it's not happening. This is my Epson P800. I love this printer, but it's the one that I'm trying to upgrade to a new version. This printer has been phased out, so sometimes it's hard to find ink for it, and that's why I want to get a new one. But I love this printer and it still works great. I've had it for 8 years. It is a workhorse. But if you can't find ink, you gotta get something else. And this is one of the negatives with having an Epson printer, is oftentimes they phase them out for newer models, and then they don't support the ink as readily as they used to. And I've tried a lot of Canons, like Canon Pixmas in the past, and I just haven't been happy with their durability long term. And Epsons, they are workhorses. They can perform, usually. Now, I say this because I actually discovered some things with some of the new Epsons that I don't like, and I'm about to tell you about them. But first, let's talk about the two different types of Epson printers that you can get with pigment-based ink. They're both Epson SureColor printers, but one is the P series and the other is the T series. So the P series is the more professional series for fine art printers. The T series are plotter printers. These are used for printing engineering drawings, CAD drawing, and even low quality posters. But the thing is that there is a difference in the quality level of the prints, and there is a difference in what papers they can take. And so this is important for me as a professional artist because I don't want to have a printer that limits me. And the printers that are the T series are more affordable, so that's something to keep in mind. And they can print big, like up to 24 inches wide on a roll. But when it comes to the flat pre-cut papers that they can take, they are limited to certain sizes. And I talked to some salespeople about the quality level of these prints, and they said that they aren't nearly as good as the P series. They told me that if I was used to using a P series printer, which I am, that's what I own currently, and I have owned throughout the last 12 years of my art career, they said that I would be disappointed if I got a T series because since they only have 4 colors of ink in them, the colors are not as vibrant, they're not as varied, there's not as much gamut and color depth, and there also isn't quite as much clarity in the prints. And these are all things that are super important to me because I want my art prints to be perfect, just so beautiful. So that narrowed it down to either an Epson P700 or a P900. And the thing is, the Epson P700 only prints to 13 inches wide. The P900 prints to 17 inches wide. At the time, I really just needed to print 8x10s, and so I was like, well, okay, I'll do a 13-inch wide one, that's fine. It's a little bit cheaper, and I have a bigger printer that still works that I can get ink for to do my larger sizes. Because I also have an Epson P6000, you can see it here in my studio. This printer is awesome. It's an older model of a very large format printer. I've had it for years, it works great, so I'll just be keeping this one. I won't be upgrading this much bigger one. And it's still very easy to find ink for this one. I think Epson sold a lot of P6000s and they offer great support, and their customer service can come out if anything breaks on it, because I had something break on this. They came out, they fixed it for me, still works great. So I decided to go with the P700 at first. I got it in, I tried it out. I quickly realized that it wasn't for me because it printed slow and the ink cost was exorbitant. It was triple what I was paying when I was printing with my P800. And this is no good for me. I mean, when you're selling the number of prints that I do, I would have been losing about $500 a month if I would have kept this printer. So I went ahead and swapped it for a P900, which has an ink cost similar to the P800. The reason why I know the cost of ink is that it's a great thing. There's this company called Red River, and they have two different lists that you should totally check out. One is a list of all the current printers that have pigment-based inks, and the other list is what the ink costs per page of an 8x10 printed with that printer. And so you can look through there before you ever purchase the printer and see what it's going to cost you. And links to these are in the description. Also, links to the printers that I discuss are in the description as well. So this is the P900. I got it in, but I also want to tell you this is the second P900 I got, because the first one I printed 500 prints on it and I broke it. And so I don't know that this printer is highly durable. This is the second one. I've only printed about 50 prints on it. It seems to be working properly so far. So we'll see. The other one didn't start working strangely until about 200 prints in. The thing is that with the other one, I was having paper sheet feed issues. The paper was getting jammed up in there, and then it was printing at an angle. It was just looking really awful. And so they sent me another one on warranty. And that's one good thing to know. If you are buying an Epson, you get a year warranty. So if it doesn't work, like my first P900 didn't, they just sent me another one. I sent it back. It was kind of inconvenient because I had to unpack a second printer, and these things are really heavy. But aside from that, it was really a painless process of getting the new printer in. This printer, you turn it on here, and I'm going to show you. See all these inks? There's a lot of them. There's actually one more ink cartridge in the P900 than there is in the P800. So pros and cons of the P900. I love the printer from the quality standpoint. It's beautiful. It's just like the P800. Now they did add the extra ink cartridge, which doesn't make sense because the prints look exactly the same as they did in the P800, and I had an Epson 3880 prior to this. And the Epson 3880 is also phased out as well, so you can't really find them anymore, but you might be able to find one used somewhere. But the thing is that it also had the same exact print quality. If you look at all of the prints side by side, they will look the same. You cannot tell the difference. And for me, that's good because I want continuity through all my prints. If someone gets one from me this year and they buy the same print next year as a gift for someone, I want it to look exactly the same. It also takes all the different sizes of paper that you could possibly ever want. You can make custom paper sizes. It has roll paper feed options. Really anything that you want to print in a printer, the Epson P900 will do. But the thing is, one of the downsides to the P900 is that it forces you to print at 1440 DPI on prints that are 8x10 size using the type of paper that I like to use. And the Epson P800 would let me print at 720 DPI. And when you look at the prints from a 1440 DPI to 720 DPI side by side, to the human eye, you cannot tell a difference. And so why does this matter? Well, it uses more ink to print at 1440 DPI, but the worst thing is that it's twice as slow. And so this means that if I'm trying to print 100 prints, I can print them in an afternoon with my P800. It takes an entire day, like 12 hours of me fooling around with this thing to print them on the P900. So what should you choose if you are looking for the best printer for fine art prints currently available on the market? Honestly, I think the best one is the P900, despite the fact that it's slower than the P800. But if you can find a used or refurbished P800, it is a much better machine. I can tell just from the way it feeds the paper in, the way it can produce prints really quickly. it has a lot more durability and staying power. I'm kind of worried about the P900 that I got the second one, and I'm worried that it's gonna break because the first one I broke in 500 prints. If you wanna learn more about making art prints, you can watch this playlist. It's an entire free course that'll teach you everything you need to know about making art prints. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.